Okay, here we are on East Cemetery Hill in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. You're looking over there is Stevens Knoll. That direction right there is Culp's Hill. We're standing right next to Cooper's Battery, right here in the shadow of General Hancock. Okay, and what we're doing here today is we're going to stand here and just take a minute and look at the artillery position from the Union perspective as they were aiming to the east towards Benner's Hill. Now, if you look, you can see the water tower, which sits atop Hospital Hill in the area of Camp Letterman. And then if you go off to the right, you can sort of see some white buildings, which would be at the top of the hill near the Daniel Lady Farm. And then there's a stretch of hillside that you can sort of see through the trees there, which is Benner's Hill, where Latimer would have placed his guns. And we're standing 40 feet higher than that ground over there. So the advantageous position of the Union guns quickly took its toll. And eventually these guys up here, along these cannons, look where they're aiming. Okay, they're aiming. We'll go right down here and we'll look down the barrel of the gun, but they're aiming right at Benner's Hill, and they did some nasty work over there and blew those guys off the hill in about 2 hours. But one thing you can't see, and actually if you look over here in this direction to the right of the tree, you can almost see the silo, and I understand this is an iPhone video, so the detail's probably not going to be that good. But off in that direction, you could see a silo, which would have been the Christian Benner farm. And so with the Confederates advancing towards Culp's Hill, they would have hid behind Benner's Hill, Benner's Ridge, over in that direction as they're sweeping from their position on the Daniel Lady Farm, sort of to the right of the water tower, and they would go in this direction and eventually go up and attack Culp's Hill. Interesting, in 1873, John Bachelder wrote in Gettysburg, What to See and How to See It, that there was one little opening that these Union guns had to fire at the infantry in a little opening that you kind of see, which would be in this little swale area, almost where you can see the Benner farm buildings. I'm guessing that's the one that he was talking about, because most of the Confederates, when they talked about advancing, and they wrote about it later, they said they were unharassed. Really, the only guys that took casualties were the 50th Virginia that I'm aware of off the top of my head, and they took their casualties helping Latimer pull his guns off of that hill that you see off in the distance there. So this is a great time of year to come out here to Gettysburg and get a good lay of the land. You can see the rolling landscape. You can see the large the hill that the Confederates used for their artillery position back in 1863. As we stand here in the line of Union guns, we are on the high ground that would have just absolutely wrecked Latimer's battalion over there and cost Latimer his life ultimately, as the Confederates were preparing to attack Culp's Hill over here in this direction, using that ground, that ridge, Benner's Hill that you see over there, for concealment for their infantry as they would eventually storm Culp's Hill in this direction on the 2nd of July of 1863. Awesome stuff. Come to Gettysburg, especially at this time of year. You got the whole place to yourself, and the viewscapes are absolutely fantastic. All right.